How you going, guys? It's Jamie here. Thanks very much for joining me in today's video. I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. For those of you tuning in via YouTube, if you happen to be on this channel for the first time, welcome. My name's Jamie. I'm a full-time affiliate marketer and a coach for a program with over 550 students. You're welcome to check that out in the description. There's a free case study. Goes through how to, quit the crap when it comes to affiliate marketing and actually start a very powerful personal brand that allows you to sell anything online. So if you're wanting to take things serious, you're tired of mucking around and you'd like to ramp up what you're doing online next year, click that link. Otherwise, go to jgcall.com. For everyone else, welcome. Thank you very much for joining me. Appreciate it of going live in a multitude of places at the moment and doing a little bit of an experiment. And just thought I'd put out a bit of content here to really just help you guys out. I noticed that one of the common complaints that I tend to hear is, people aren't buying my stuff. Why not? I can't get people to buy the stuff. So I'm going to go through a couple of things here as a bit of a presentation that's going to hopefully help you guys out. And of course, if you happen to be jumping on the live, smash that heart button, drop a comment, let me know you're here. Hashtag live if you're on the live, hashtag replay if you're on the replay, and anything else that you'd like to discuss. Feel free to drop any questions along the way. More engagement just helps this message get a bit further out to the algorithm. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, so let's kick things off. Actually, before I do go ahead as well, the other thing I was just going to say is, what a crazy year. It's the 19th of December, my time. You might be in other parts of the universe at the moment. So may not be 19th of December, but somewhat of a crazy year. And I dare say it's probably the most unique festive season many of us will face in our tenure here on this earthly plane. So just wanted to acknowledge that. It's been an interesting year, a good one. I personally have had an amazing year. I know it's been fraught with all sorts of issues globally, but yeah, it's been fun. So anyway, welcome folks, and let's jump straight into it. Smash those comments, guys. Let me know you're here. Alrighty, hopefully you can see my screen. Groovy. Let's jump into it. Alrighty, so let's do the old presentation here. Bear with me one moment. Just going to check to make sure I am showing up in the right places. Cool. It seems to be working. Drop your comments, folks. Alrighty, why folks ain't buying and how to fix it. So this is a common complaint I hear from a lot of my students one-on-one, and also for the Super Affiliate Accelerator, as I mentioned before, something that tends to be something that pops up for people. And there's a bit of a science behind why this is the case. So I'm going to go through that. Like I say, if you would like help, especially moving into next year, and you're tired of just fucking around with the whole online thing and you want to take this serious as a proper business, jgcall.com, and lock in the time to chat. At least check out the free case study. Right, so here's the thing. The dream of online stuff occurs like this. You're lazing around, you do no work, there's unlimited cash flow, and you're basking in endless glory, as you can see from this little happy horse thing, whatever it is there. And pina coladas in the paddock. There you go. Who doesn't love a good pina colada in the paddock? Anyway, but the reality is more like this. A weird horse mask and or a unicorn, actually. That's with the spike, isn't it? And it scares the local cat population. That tends to be the reality for a lot of people, is that there's this dichotomy of and a disconnect between, cool, I'm going to jump into this program now, but then they forget that that's actually when they start building their business, not like, not just because of the endorphin rush of actually buying something. So here's the thing. What you need to do is learn the reasons and the triggers as to why people do buy stuff. And it's not because, discounts and all that sort of bullshit. It's usually, especially if it's interpersonal one-on-one stuff, there's a few reasons which I'm going to cover today. All right. So acronym time. Here's another good acronym. KLT. Kind of like a BLT, but you don't get to eat this one. So know, like, and trust. If you do not have the know, like, and trust factor, and specifically that last one in particular, the trust factor, then no one's going to get their credit card out and buy stuff. If, for example, you meet someone and they seem very dodgy, untrustworthy, you're not going to go and buy their stuff, right? So the same thing happens online. And it's basically normally where this comes from is either you haven't put the time and energy into building a relationship with that person, or they're just, you come across like you have an agenda. And this is a little bit of a balancing act, I must admit, because the problem is we're here to sell some stuff. Like, we're not here just to have fun, right? Although it can be fun, the whole process can be really, really enjoyable. But the reality is that you need to put that time and energy into building that relationship. And the cool thing is that you can actually sell and build that trust if the product or service that you have does actually serve that person. That's the key element there. All right. So let's start with the know part. So people want to feel like they know you before they're willing just to go and get their cash out, right? They want to make sure that, this person, they seem legit. That's the trust factor. But they feel like they know you, so that means it's almost like there's a friendly element to it as well. And as it says there, they want to feel safe in their decisions. They want to connect based on commonalities. So the thing is that you can tactfully reveal who you are. You can be present with them. Like, cool, well, as I mentioned before, like, I just wanted to acknowledge it's been a kind of a crazy year leading into the festive season. That's something that everyone on earth can relate to. And the thing is, I'm not dwelling on the negative of that. It's an acknowledgement. So see, there's a slight difference there. I'm not like, oh, woe is me, life is so hard because this year's been weird. But I'm acknowledging that I'm empathizing with humanity in general, that it's just, it's one of those things, right? And just being consistent. This is how you get to know people. Consistent with your content, consistent with, I guess, the way that you communicate with people, consistent with, I guess, being there and messaging and things like that, right? So the like part. Now, you're kind of screwed if you're not a likable person already. Although you can actually develop that. You can develop likability. So a massive resource is something called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I guess for those of you that haven't read this book, one of the key factors in it that I picked up was when you are fortunate enough to have a genuine curiosity about human beings in general, what that actually shows, and it shows authenticity, because you're actually curious about, well, okay, cool, like, you've just started affiliate marketing, like, what's got you into it now? And the thing is, you can have an intention behind those types of questions, which the intention is to work out whether you can actually help someone else out. But of course, you're also trying to find out if they need that help as well. But you might be, okay, well, I wonder why people are getting into it now. Is it because it's been a weird year? Is it because something's happened? Is it because they're just tired of their boss and their whatever, right? And so if you are genuinely curious about people, it really helps. And if you're not, then learn to be, because it'll help you out massively in terms of likability. Because everyone likes to talk about themselves. Everyone likes to be listened to and at least feel like they've been listened to. So if you can take genuine interest, be as consistent as you can with who you are. And I understand that can be a little bit tricky because certain things pop up, certain things are going to frustrate us online and offline and in life in general. But if there's an element of consistency to who we are, that's going to build that likability over the long term, right? Just be you, because trying to be someone else that you're not is really fucking hard. And people sniff that out a mile away. Like, people's bullshit radar is off the charts these days, and they will read it straight away if you're trying to be someone that you're not. Don't be a judgmental piece of shit. Age-old wisdom right there, isn't it? So if you find yourself being super judgmental towards people, you're probably not going to get people to like you. And look, this isn't about getting every single person that you connect with ever to like you. That's just going to be an impossibility. However, if you are judging people based on any ism that you have, then you're not going to get very far with that. Like, if you're judging everyone, like, oh, this person's too rich, this person's too broke, I'm high and mighty, I'm way better than everyone. That's not going to help you, right? So don't be judgmental. So how do you build the trust? Don't be desperate. People can sniff that out. This comes back to the bullshit meter being dialed in these days. Like, if you're like, oh gosh, I hope they click my link. Oh my God, hopefully make that sale. Don't be desperate. And again, there's a balancing act, because you want to be able to have that intention of, hey, following up on the link that I sent. Like, have you checked it out? What questions do you have for me? And there's that balancing act, like I say, but you don't want to be like, okay, here's the link at any moment. Because then, like, clearly you have an agenda. It's not just about actually helping that person, right? So don't be desperate. And look, here's the huge, massive chunk of advice that I can't stress this enough for people watching, is that it's completely fine to walk away from the deal. In fact, I would almost encourage it, because you got to understand that we're in sales. We want to make sales. In a perfect world, every single person that we speak to is going to go, hey, here's my credit card. Let's start it. This is amazing. But that's not helpful for them. Like, especially if we're selling something that, we know that is not actually going to serve them, then, that's it. So it's completely fine to say, listen, I've heard your story and I appreciate you mentioning all that stuff to me. I just don't think that what I've got is the right fit for you. Maybe I can point in the right direction, things like that. And that there in itself is going to build huge levels of trust. A damaging admission. Now, this isn't kind of going, well, when I was 5 years old, I stole a crayon from my neighbor and I've been, chastising myself ever since. Oh, woe is me. It's nothing like that. What you're effectively doing, this is something I got from Frank Kern, and he does it with his copy in particular, not so much as verbal communication. However, it's still really relevant. So damaging admission is something like, say, for example, I'll use it in copy format because it's easier. You put a big bold headline, how to make 100K in 1 week without leaving the couch and not having to do any work. So that's the big bold headline, right? So of course people's bullshit media is going to go, whoa, what do you mean 100K? Right? Well, maybe, okay, let's have a look. But then the next part of that is a damaging admission, which is essentially, but I don't know you, I don't know your work ethic, I don't know if it's going to work for everyone out there. But what I do know is that if you stay where you are, you're not going to make any money at all. And so that's the damaging admission. But you can also use that in your verbal communication, and obviously through Messenger as well. And that could be as simple as, well, I actually don't know if this is the right thing. And for me, when I'm, I guess as part of a sales presentation, I will actually say, like, it's not going to be for most people, because that's the truth. Like, what I have and my coaching and everything that I've got is not going to be for everyone. And I'm completely cool with that. Transparency, people love that. So especially if there's no hidden agenda, it's not like, well, we're going to get you in here, and then there's like all these separate fees on the back end that we're not going to tell you about. Be transparent. Don't be manipulative. The cool thing is, and this is why a lot of sales has a really bad rep, is, it gets, I guess people feel like they're being coerced into stuff. But the truth is, and the reality is, that you don't actually need to do any of that stuff. You don't need to be manipulative, because if you're serving the other person, then it's completely fine. You can actually have a ton of empathy to them. And again, if it is something that's going to help them out, then, it's okay just to say, listen, this is going to help you out. And be transparent and honest about the whole thing. And if you're relaxed and calm, because the thing is that, if you have a nervous energy, people will pick up on that. And because they think, well, what's the agenda? What's this person doing? Why do they have why are they looking like that and thinking like that? It's weird. So you got to be kind of chilled about the whole thing. And what I would do, if you're finding yourself getting anxious before like a sales call, sales presentation, just spend some downtime, just chilling out, do some meditation, maybe listen to some relaxing music, some neuro-linguistic programming. If you've done that before, it works super, super well for relaxing you as well. Anything just to kind of just, like, who cares? Like, you've got nothing to lose. Don't worry about it. What's the worst that could happen? And the thing is, you don't need to be a kiss ass as well. And you don't need to like appease them. And so what this allows you to do is, if you are, it means that there's an element of desperation there. It means that what you're projecting to that other person is you're subjugating yourself. I think that's the right word. And that basically means that you're lowering yourself and you're playing the non-leadership role. And so what does leadership do for you? Leadership builds that trust, and people want to feel like if someone's leading them, then they've got to trust in that. But if you're just like kissing ass and appeasing everything that they say, that trust factor is going to disappear, and that all of a sudden you have now put them in control of that whole situation. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Buying factors. Going to race through these. There's quite a few of them. So people, and some of this is kind of high level stuff. You don't need to know the nth degree of all this stuff. It's more just to give you an awareness, if nothing else. People love the feeling of involvement or ownership in certain things, right? So if you can give that to them as part of a community or a club, a society, look at all the kind of societies and clubs and things like that that are out there. Like, let's have a look at sports teams, prime example, team jerseys, merchandise, the big fake fingers and things like that. You name it, there's all sorts of stuff there. People love that. Honesty about the company, about the program, whatever it is that you're selling. Integrity, this is for you as a person. If you've got integrity, then they will read that. Again, going back to the bullshit meter, people will be able to sniff that out as well. Credibility of the actual thing that you're selling as well. If you're selling a car that's an absolute hunk of shit rust bucket, then it's going to be a lot harder to sell than, say, a Bugatti Veyron, for example, which has a lot of credibility. Value and proof of value. So the value of the actual thing itself and the evidence that supports that can be in the form of social proof, lots of people giving testimonials, etc., and I guess other things which I can't think of off the top of my head. Justify the purchase. So people quite often need to justify a purchase decision. And if you think about things like sales, Black Friday sales, a huge one, Boxing Day for for some of us as well. It's like that justification. Oh, but it's a 10% discount. I'm never going to get these prices again. I have to. There you go, justification of it. Right, what else do we need? Greed is a huge one. We're all self-serving little shits, and greed is a massive one. People love all the thing that they can get. Establish authority. So if it helps to establish themselves as an authority figure, then that is going to be part of their buying decision process. Satisfaction, conviction. So this one is how convinced they are that the solution you are able to provide is going to be the right thing for them. That's all that means. Their conviction of that, basically. The nature of the product. So again, what the product actually stands for, and sometimes this can be things like ecological impacts. It can be, I guess, how it's perceived in a societal basis, things like that. Current fads. So remember when those like stupid bloody spinny bullshit things and like the little things were out like popular a little while ago? Current fad, like where are they? Pokemon the game, where's that now? I've heard a huge rush of commotion about that game, and now I have not heard anything about it. I don't even know if it still exists, right? So current fads. Timing. The timing's a huge one. So if you look at, I guess, certain platforms, everyone tends to be rushing over to the old TikToks at the moment because of the sheer volume of, I guess, people that are on it and how easy it is to get in front of people. So I'm told. I did not have that experience myself, but I didn't really try it for very long, I must admit. I just got a lot of really strange comments, and so I was like, I'm done with this. Anyway, timing is a big one. What else we got? A desire to belong. So that's actually going back to the very first thing, which is people love to belong to something. They love plaques, they love awards, they love all this thing. And so if they're a part of that, then it makes them feel like they belong, a sense of community. Desire to collect. So why are antiques, and why are these weird things that are out there that people pay sometimes ridiculous amounts of money for, millions sometimes, for like weird chunks of art? When, let's say, 99% of the population can't understand why that would be perceived as a valuable thing, someone is like, oh my God, I collect those weird things, I will buy them. Maybe it's like a unicorn mask, who knows? Maybe they're popular, who knows, right? Curiosity. So some people will literally just buy something because they're intrigued by it. And this works really well in terms of very low ticket items in particular, because it's like a no-brainer. I don't mind spending $70, $7 or $70 for that matter, $100. Yeah, whatever. I'm just curious to see what this is about. Buy that. Right. Sense of urgency. So if you look at countdown timers, discounts, only available for the next 3 people that comment, things like that, sense of urgency. People don't like missing out. It activates the FOMO. Instant gratification. So this is 90, I don't know, I'm making up stats as I go along now, but let's just say there's a big chunk of the population. This is how most people will go through their lives, because they don't have the discipline to, whether it be health decisions, whether it be, you name it, they're always after that instant gratification. Think of like eating ice cream, drinking a beer, whatever it is. It could be, all sorts of other things. That ability to satiate, I think that's the right word, themselves, it instantly, that's the thing, right? Exclusivity, rarity, or uniqueness. So again, antiques, rarity, uniqueness. Like I say, some of those art things, I would call them. I don't see the beauty in a lot of them, but beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So the uniqueness might be something that people are intrigued by. The exclusivity of it, again, talking about societies, sports teams, look at all the memorabilia and different things that exist as part of those. And again, like my coaching individually, I don't take on many students, so therefore there is an inherent exclusivity about that. Things like that, right? Gives you an idea. Right, what else we got? Geez, how big is this bloody list? Simplicity. People like, there's something that I've learned about recently, and it's a philosophy I absolutely bloody love. It's called Occam's razor. Highly recommend everyone just goes and Googles that at some stage, because it talks about, basically in simple terms, good one, Jamie. It basically means the simplest answer is more often the best. So if you apply that to a buying decision or business or affiliate marketing, whatever the case may be, that's in essence one of the key factors that allowed my business to blow up. It wasn't because I had these complex funnels on the back end that did all this fancy stuff. I built into those after I stripped away all the layers, but it was just simplicity. And of course, as a buying decision, imagine people that, oh, well, that seems complex. It's like when I used to work in finance and my job was selling accounts for a derivatives product. I know there's probably a big chunk of the audience that's going, what the fuck's a derivative? All it is something that derives its price from an underlying asset. There you go. How simple is that? So there you go. So basically the simplicity of whatever it is you're selling. Of the solution, I should say. Human relationships, again, coming back to the know, like, and trust factor. If people really like you, they really trust you, they feel like they know you, and they're more likely to want to make a buying decision based off that. They also might be looking at a society or a club or a membership, and that is one of the buying decisions of them being part of that as well. The ability to connect with other humans. Guilt. This is a tactic that a lot of salespeople use, hence why a lot of people feel coerced into buying stuff at certain times. So guilt is, well, after everything I've done for you guys, in this free group, you can't even drop a comment, you bastards. Things like that. But no one should feel guilty. I don't give a fuck, by the way. But what I'm saying is that is such a massively powerful human emotion. And to put it into more practical life around us terms, think about I guess parents buying something for their offspring. I was going to say offsiders, then I was going to say sliders. Those are completely different things, aren't they? Anyway, parents buying stuff for their little ones, and sometimes TV advertisements are pretty clever, and what they'll do is they will put, I don't know, the Malibu Barbie or whatever the heck it is that's going out these days. And so therefore it invokes a feeling of guilt if they do not go and purchase this thing for their child. I'm sure we've probably moved on a little bit. It's more likely to be PS5 these days, I guess. But again, that's a super powerful emotion. Specificity. What a great word. I'm not going to try and say that 3 times. However, specificity. It's twice. I'm not going to try a 3rd time just in case I mess it up. But all that means is if it solves a very specific problem for someone, then specificity. Oh, yes, I got it. So to put that into practical terms, a mechanic that purchases a particular part for the car, they're going to need the right size, going to need the right fitting, make and model, blah, 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 right? Specific. Familiarity. A lot of people buy and go to restaurants, for example, based on the familiarity of that place. Oh, we always go here on Friday. We always get fish and chips on a Friday, says the family. There you go. That's another one. Hope. Oh, gosh. Hope this is the one. This lotto ticket's going to be the one. I hope. I'm going to be that 1 in a 40 million chance that it's going to win this time. Anyway, so hopefully this all makes sense. Hopefully that has helped everyone out. And what I'd encourage you guys to do is tune in next time, because here's what we're going to be going over. You have to put bait out there in the form of content. And so this is all, now that you've got a very loose understanding of some of the buying triggers, the other thing you need to do is now incorporate that into your content. And you can do it in a very specific way that draws the punters to you, draws them in. And that's, you have to do that hand motion when you're doing it. Otherwise, it doesn't count. I just decided then. So anyway, I would encourage you guys to check out the next video I'm going to do in this series. I just decided to make up right then as I was typing that out, which is going to cover the content element of how you can update your branding and how you can call out your specific buyers. So hopefully you guys got some benefit out of that. Let's go back, see if we've got any queries. Groovy. Fred, how you doing, man? Rita, nice to see you. Tate, how's it going? Luke, good to see you, my man. I only have a Facebook user. You're very welcome. I hope that helps you. Does anyone have any questions in relation to that thing I just went through? You're welcome, man. Would definitely encourage reading the Dale Carnegie book. I think a lot of us probably do that stuff naturally anyway. It's just conversational stuff, but I think it tends to get lost online due to the lack of human element sometimes. Yeah, man. Very relaxed. Trust is key. Yeah, exactly. So hopefully you guys are trustworthy enough by the end of this. Because if you're not, you might want to work on that a little bit. Just saying is all. All right, I'm going to bounce. Yes, looking very relaxed. I was hoping for anyone based out of Melbourne here. I was going to do a little get together for affiliate stuff, and that was going to be this side of the silly season, but stuff got in the way, and now I'm busy. And so anyway, keep you in the loop. Anyway, folks, thank you so much for joining me in today's live. I was trying to think of a more exciting word than live, but that's all I came up with. Oh, groovy. I apologize. I cannot see who I've got with me there. Just says Facebook user. It's one of those. I use this bit of software. You need to click the link to activate the privacy thing. So, but anyway, I appreciate it. Let's keep in touch, because I'm going to organize like a little, which is the official term I just made up then for affiliate marketing get together thing at a place yet to be confirmed. Anyway, and we're going to learn some stuff. It's going to be fucking awesome. Well, maybe. We might not. We might not learn anything. Anyway, all right. I'm really going this time. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. See you in the next one. It will probably be tomorrow, and that's going to cover the content element and how to get those buyers out of that bloody audience. And I think a lot of you will get a ton of benefit out of it, because it's about elevating how you are perceived by your own audience. Anyway, I'm out. You guys have a good one. I shall see you next time. Thanks very much. Bye.